Greetings, greetings, Countess Cersei. I'll be with you and with my people shortly. Give me a second. Testing, testing. Greetings, 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 greetings. It is I, King Clifford Jefferson. I Senator Godfrey, the fifth Caravan Jew, the son of folk, the ruler of Jerusalem. I'm the reincarnation of King Edgar the Peaceful, which we know here at the Third to be in the Church of England as Jesus Christ, or the Vicar of Christ. I am glad to be here on November 14th, 2024, which is equivalent to the birth year 2974, which is equivalent to your year 2024. And I'm privileged to be able to come here with a lesson today to qualify that you are indeed and in fact in England. Okay? That you are in fact and indeed in England, and you have a king of England. So the third part of the equation is you. You are the heirs of the lost and forgotten descendants of the Anglo-Saxon Berber. Kings of all kings, primogenitors of all primogenitors, beginners of all beginners. All right? So I really appreciate you all who humble themselves to that which no one has thought to take into consideration the gravity of the situation based upon the situation and the times that we're in. I'm not going to hold y'all long today, but I really just want to impact upon you realizing that you are in fact home. You always been home. And I got to give a shout out to uh, Brother Milligan from the House of Milligan, because whenever I talk to him, it's like, you know, he's like a wizard. Like the brother's like a wizard to me, and I give honor to him, man. Like definitely one of my counsel. So this lesson is dedicated to him. Brother Milligan from the House of Milligan. Thank you, brother. Peace be upon you. So always let me get a cup of my coffee, sip of my coffee. Greetings, Countess Middleton from the House of Middleton. Greetings, Countess uh, Cersei from the House of Cersei. Greetings to all who will be attending today on this divine day for which this lesson will be revealed to me, my people. So without further ado, let's get started with this beautiful lesson. As always, I have a synopsis or narrative that I sometimes have, and this is going to be from Shawan Seti. Although his language is vulgar and his ways or methods of teachings are obscure, nonetheless, you know, people listen to him. And this is for him to realize that the people are subject to you because of what you teach them, and their blood is on your hands. All right. So if you're listening, Brother Sarasu Seti, and you claim to have as much knowledge as you think you have, then you should have no problem with what it is that I'm talking about today. But apparently you do, because when I watched this video, one of your previous videos, you were defaming the English people. All right, because you know nothing about the English people. You know nothing about the English laws or the customs or the traditions. You know nothing about the citizenship, the nationality, the status. You know nothing about the genetic makeup of these people. You know nothing about the characteristics of the identity of these people based upon your language. So I'm going to use everything you say against you, not to hurt you, but to uplift you. And when I to uplift you, you must humble yourself. All right, which all must do in this day and time, because the truth needs no cosigner. All right, so let's get started. Now he does a lot of promotion on his channel. I know this is his money, so I'm not trying to mess with his money, but it's where you're at trying to make your money. It's where you're at when you're making your money. All right, and when you make your money, you can't make your money at the same time this defaming other people in pursuit of that, you know, information that you so-called say you're teaching. And you're defaming the English people by misappropriating them misappropriating them in name and likeness. This is not only malicious, but it is an invasion of our privacy rights. All right, so it's very important, Brother Sarah Seti, that you pay attention to this lesson, because I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to investigate what it is that you're saying about the English people, because the English people are not white people, whether they were in what you call that territory now called United Kingdom, prior to that Great Britain, or whether they're over here in what they call now America, which is prior to that called the Kingdom of England. And I'm going to show you that without a shadow of a doubt. So everyone who's been watching this channel should be pretty much up to speed with how I deliver. But once again, I just love you all, and just hope you all stay humble and be attentive, for the utmost of what it means to be an English national. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Greetings, Archbishop Belmont from the House of Belmont. Greetings to you as well. I'm definitely amongst my people, my council. So keep those who aren't, who don't need to be here. Okay, just watch them moderate those who don't need to be here. If they're going to comment in the chat and speak with some decor, then by all means they are welcome. But if not, they ought to be put on mute. So with that, let's get started.
All right, family. Black power is the true power with General Cyrus Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be happy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Cyrus Seti YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all already know what it is. Black power, black frequency. If you're feeling that frequency and energy, you should most definitely join. The link right there in the video description is in the chat. Click it. You'll get a video introduction, rundown on the membership, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join, even if you don't. I appreciate your presence here at the Cyrus Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. We got some fire going down, family. We're going to be going back and forth, you see, for the, the general YouTube. And we're going to be going over to the membership in between time to give the members that fire. So most definitely on deck, we get notifications on in, we putting in that work. We got it going down, the secret cigars of Thanksgiving, down November 24th, 2024 on General Seti Ticket Leap. You know the General keep it leaping on Ticket Leap. Believe it, believe it, believe it. It's straight fire. You feel me? I ain't got to even hesitate. I ain't got to amp it up. It's fire. So I want you in the house and click that link and begin to think and act, because I'm lining them up. To all my family that was over there for the Halloween and you missed that, come on over. You got this one free. It's waiting on you, family. It's by email, y'all. So y'all can be in the house. That's right. And so that's right. So ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Cyrus Seti DVD lectures, t-shirt, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room. Come on over here and get some of that moringa. Come on over here and get some of that moringa detox, living better, family. We got the shea butter for you. We got the natural men tonic, extra strong. Get you together, brother. Get you together. We got the soursop bitters, yes, 21 different herbs and roots. Thanksgiving.
This man would sell you his socks if it was on his feet. He got that gift of gab. His brother would sell you his socks. If he can sell you something, he can damn sure make you believe something. Okay?
It's going down November 24th, 2024 on General Seti Ticket Leap. You know the General keep it leaping on Ticket Leap. Believe it, believe it, believe it. It's straight fire. You feel me? I ain't got to even hesitate. I ain't got to amp it up. It's fire. So I want you in the house and click that link and begin to think and act, because I'm lining them up. To all my family that was over there for the Halloween and you missed that, come on over. You got this one free. It's waiting on you, family. It's by email, y'all. So y'all can be in the house. That's right. And so that's right. So for Ring the Alarm King, SETI.com online marketplace, official General Sarasu SETI DVD lectures, t-shirt, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room. Come on over here and get some of that moringa. Come on over here and get some of that moringa detox, living better, family. We got the straight butter for you. We got the natural men tonic, extra strong. Get you together, brother. Get you together. We got the south bitters, yes, 21 different herbs and roots for you. You feel me? Go get you that black seed, honey, garlic. Man, that ain't nothing but truth. You need some of that in your life. Natural toothpaste is for you too. Black seed, Mizwalk, no fluoride. Get on over there, family. We got some amazing products. For the fire alarm, GeneralSETI.com, SETI University. We talk about over 2,500 videos on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, developing the Black nation one lesson at a time. The complete General Sarasu SETI website. There's not another website nowhere on the planet that can compare or compete. On over there.
Okay, y'all heard what he said. There's no other website on the planet that can compete with his, as well as he's got the information based upon national standards. Okay, nation building. Okay, nation founding. These are coming out of his mouth, but as we examine him today, this will not be the case.
Check out the catalog. Amazing. That's right. Everybody knows SETI popping on Patreon. We got some fire going down tonight. I got to address these things, family. We got the Uncle Sam, the Panarchy of Pandemonium, showing you everything that America is. I don't want you to be fooled. You know it, but you trying to hide. But we're going to pull the veil off of it tonight. Where's the true home of the woolly-haired Black race? We got to talk about it with facts, with receipts, and show on up. I don't care what expression you belong to, goddamn it, show up. Bring it on. I'm ready, goddamn it, I'm ready. All right, and so and to all the family out there donated to the general, I thank you. I appreciate the fact you appreciate me. Any family out there would like to donate, link right there on the screen in the video description is in the chat. Click it, donate, and I appreciate you, and I thank you, and I thank you again. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. King SETI, General SETI, Sarasu and SETI. Rock that notification bell. Get a video.
He got all these titles. General SETI, King SETI. He don't know what he want to be. It's very important to be. I mean, names mean something. There's only names are given to person, places, and things. Okay? A noun is a person, place, or a thing. All right, so we must understand in the context that when we speak about nouns, they must be in their proper form. It's called a proper noun. Okay, you got a noun is a mom, but a proper noun is Diane, my mom or my mother. All right, these are proper nouns when you identify the in reference to the noun. Okay, so as the people is a noun, but proper noun is what type of people. What's the name of the people? We must understand how important this is. And the only way I can show you that a glass is dirty is to put a clean glass in front of you. All right?
Like, share with your family and friends and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will bam your ass. All right. Now I got to get busy, y'all. Because you know, we hear a lot of questions out there, right? And a lot of people say, black people or African American, the term African American. Why are we the only people that, in America that have to abbreviate their name? You see, and that's really not true. Because when you see a Chinaman, you don't just, what do you say? Do you just say he's American? You see a goddamn Chinaman, you're going to say he's a Chinese. first and foremost, you ain't gonna even say American. You see what I'm saying? You ain't gonna even say American. You gonna say he's Chinese. When I see a goddamn Arab, at the goddamn grocery store, I don't say that they Americans. I don't even say they goddamn Arab American. I just say they Arab. Arab. I don't even say Arab.
So in Mighty Strange, he used those two examples, Chinese and Arabs. He used the examples of how to identify a person based upon their nationality or their nation. All right? Whether you here or somewhere else, he used Chinese and Arab. Arabs are from Arabia. Chinese are from China. China is a country. Arabia is a territory within the country on the continent of what they call the European continent. Okay? So it's very important that when we use these terms, especially when you're talking about being here, because he's using the word Arab American. He used the word Chinese American. It didn't say American Chinese. It didn't say American Arab. Okay? So their nation comes first before the domicile is denoted to it, because the status is determined by domicile. So he said Arab American, Chinese American, but he don't even associate them with American. When he think of them Arabs or Chinese, it's based upon their national name of their country. That's based upon political status, not a civil status. We must understand that, because I don't think he knows the difference. Okay? So he's picking up on or using, for an example, Arabs and Chinese in regards to uh, being classified with the prefix of Americans or the suffix of however you want to do it, with the adding on or the editing to it as being Americans, being associated with the land called America. Okay? Or any name that it was called prior to it being called America. That's very, very, very important, because you just can't stop with America. Because before it was called America, it was called British America. Okay? So British had has the right name to call it America before Americans had the right to call it America. Okay? So if that's the case, that means that the true Americans, based upon that concept or that language, is the British. Okay, but this land was not called America. So the British, nor those who now call themselves Americans, i.e., those foreigners, can't even identify with this land because they don't know the original name of it. So there's a gap between the identity of this landmass, which we're going to bring clarity to today. All right?
Arab, I say egg rat. You see? Okay, so what is you? Everybody identifying. Y'all know that to be true. You's a lying ass nigga. You see what I'm saying? To think you could pull the wool over our eyes. You see? You think you're gonna be able to, but not today. Now let me explain something to you. Why white people, European, don't have to say European. They say, well, why don't European? Because America means European. That's like saying wet rain. That would be redundant. They don't have to say European American because America is European. It's a colony. It's a colony of Europe. It was a colony of Britain. It was a colony of France. You see, it was a colony. I know for sure those two had some parts of it. Spain was, had colonized parts of America, and they put their stamp on this shit.
Okay, so he said it. So that he say not just the colonists, okay, not just the colonists, not just the immigrants who were immigrating over here to this land, all right, misnominated as America, all right, not just the founding fathers who came over here and by way of their settlement and became naturalized based upon the Naturalization Act of 1790, all right, but he just mentioned that there were other people on this landmass prior to it being called America, prior to it being called British America, because he went into the history dealing with Spain and France, okay, i.e., New Spain and New France. All right, very important you understand these terms he's using because he's using them loosely. Okay, just like any other name that they put new in front of them. New England, New Jersey, all right, or it can be relative to named after something. Okay, giving something a name, a new name based upon some prior name. The prior name has more premises than the latter name. Okay, so you must look at the history of this land or this continent, which they now call Americas, and relative to the people here in America and their connection to it. Okay, which we're going to see that he has no clue.
You see what I'm saying? So they don't have to, because everything that's interwoven into the society is European. Okay, now when you go over there to them 13 original colonies, you got one called New England. Okay, make that make sense to me, nigga. You saying why is it? It means New Europe. You understand what I'm saying? A colony is an extension of the motherland. So the 13 original colonies was an extension of Britain. You see, they were citizens of Britain, just like anybody walking around in London and goddamn, whatever, you got Manchester and so on and so forth. So you would have been just as much a citizen because they left Britain. You see, they were British Americans. So when you say America, I mean, listen to me. Americo Vespucci is a fucking European. Okay, so both North America and South America are named after Amerigo Vespucci. And his grandfather was named the same name, Amerigo Vespucci. So he was named after his grandfather. Okay, so we making that clear that these land masses are. Now I'm gonna just tell you like this, and I don't know. You can do whatever the fuck you want to. I'm an ancient spirit. Okay, okay. I'm an ancient man. I'm not. I don't start for the the general
Hold
YouTube,
on.
and we gonna be going
Sorry
over
about
to
that,
them.
y'all.
Say they goddamn Arab American. I just say they Arab. Arab. I don't even say.
So he just left out. He didn't even want to explain it because he can't explain it. And he went back to saying he's an ancient man. All right. From the cosmos. All right. That way he ain't got to fill in no gaps. All right. Because he don't know how to explain who he was or what his people was. The only thing he can use to bring that premises is based upon what was already here before he got here. All right. And he don't understand that, so he got to go to the cosmos. All right. He got to go shoot to the cosmos. All right. I'm sorry for me moving further up into the video as I should have, but hopefully we're not too far off from where we left off. Let's see.
Arab, I say Arab. You see? Okay, so what is you? Everybody identifying, y'all know that to be true. You's a lying ass nigga. You see what I'm saying? To think you can pull the wool over our eyes. You see? You think you're gonna be able to, but not today. Now let me explain something to you. Why white people, Europeans, don't have to say European. They say, well, why don't European? Because America means European. That's like saying wet rain. That would be redundant. They don't have to say European American because America is European. It's a colony. It's a colony of Europe. It was a colony of Britain. It was a colony of France. You see, it was a colony. I know for sure those two had some parts of it. Spain was, had colonized parts of America, and they put their stamp on this shit. You see what I'm saying? So they don't have to, because everything that's interwoven into the society is European. Okay, now when you go over there to them 13 original colonies, you got one called New England. Okay, make that make sense to me, nigga. You saying why is it? It means New Europe. You understand what I'm saying? A colony is an extension of the motherland. So the 13 original colonies was an extension of Britain. You see, they were citizens of Britain, just like anybody walking around in London and goddamn, whatever, you got Manchester and so on and so forth. So you would have been just as much a citizen because they left Britain. You see, they were British Americans. So when you say America, I mean, listen to me. Americo Vespucci is a fucking European. Okay, so both North America and South America are named after Amerigo Vespucci, and his grandfather was named the same name, Amerigo Vespucci. So he was named after his grandfather. Okay, so we making that clear that these land masses are now. I'm gonna just tell you like this, and I don't know. You can do whatever the fuck you want to. I'm an ancient spirit. Okay, okay. I'm an ancient man. I don't start with no goddamn Americo Vespucci. I don't know where you start, nigga, but I don't start with no damn Americo uh Vespucci. Okay, you see, I start with the beginning of time, nigga. We are the melanated primordial of the planet. Don't start with no goddamn Americo Vespucci. Y'all some Vespuccian niggas. That's right. You got to understand, yeah, I hear you right there. America is our nationality, Africa is our genealogy. Ray, you dropped a goddamn atomic bomb. And you cleared that shit up, good brother.
Okay. So he said American is their nationality and African is their genealogy. Everyone heard that, right? He said American is his nationality and Africa is their genealogy. He didn't say it, but he agreed with it, so he might as well have said it. Okay? So America is his nationality, right? America. There was a time when this place was not called America. All right? So when you saying that the colonies were called Great Britain, was under the control of the monarchs of what they call Great Britain, then how did America get its name? Because we're talking about Great Britain over here, not Great Britain over there. We're talking about Great Britain over here, or the body of politics of Great Britain. Wherever it was located, it was governing the overseas territories or plantation that was under their control, as you just said, which made them pretty much what they call subjects of Great Britain, or if they wasn't subjects of Great Britain, they would be citizens of what they call America. And the name America was under the control of British America before it came under the control of the colonists. This we must not overlook. But he said that his nationality was American nationality, and his genealogy was African. Okay? African genealogy deals with just soil, being born on the soil. It has nothing to do with the blood, just sanguineous, who you're related to, genealogy, ethnics. America nationality had nothing to do with just sanguineous, blood, or air. It only had to do with if you're being born here or you're allowed to be a permanent resident here. So for you to say that you are or your nationality is American and your genealogy is African, you just disentailed yourself. Okay? You have no heir. You have no descendancy. You are a wanderer. Okay? You are wandering in this land now. Okay? That's why you went to the cosmos, because you can't explain anything here in the physical or the concrete. All right? So you got to stay with the abstract. Therefore, there's no explanation because it's only based upon hypothetical premises that can be proven. Okay? That can be proven. We must understand what it is that we have to comprehend. And to comprehend truth from falsehood. Okay, so we understand that if you're saying that your nationality is American, that means you have to show that you are, in fact, a national of this country called America. There is no such thing as a national of America based upon a political connection to the government of America. And that's proven by the Naturalization Act of 1790, because it had nothing to do with your genealogy, which is Africa. You said your genealogy was Africa and your nationality was America. America has nothing to do with either. Okay? Africa had nothing to do with your genealogy. It had something to do with the territory where you were born at, or where the people were divided were at. Okay? Well, you want to call them Nubians, Cushites, Ethiopians, Jews, whatever you want to call them. Those names are given to are descriptive names. They're not proper nouns, because they a proper noun would be a national of a country. All right, that's where your nationality comes from. Your names. Your name is General Sunwa Sutin Seti or King Seti, but you're not a representative of a nation, because you just said that your nationality was American, but your genealogy is in Africa. But you're not in Africa now. You're here in what? America. So does Africa have colonies here in America? No, right? Africans were enslaved here in America, true, but they were not called Africans, because Africa is not the name of the people. All right, Africa is not a proper noun, because there's many countries in that continent called Africa, or that landmass. And then you're using English letters, English language to identify with what uh, what a nation's Anglophone, which means the countries, the language of a nation. All right, we must comprehend that. I'm gonna pay a little bit more, and then we're gonna disqualify this argument.
You came, goddamn it, that was hard body. You stole my goddamn one of my damn points. Ray beat me to one of my goddamn points, but that was a hard point. Clear that shit up there, Ray. Don't play no games with him. Come hard body. That's right. Come hard body. When we say race, nigga, you say I'm American. Okay, well, what's your race, nigga? That's a nationality. You don't want to say African.
He just contradicted himself.
Half of these motherfuckers ain't never lived in no damn Europe. You think every motherfucking white man and white woman been to Europe? But goddamn it, everywhere you look around is, wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, you got the state Virginia. That's named after what was it? Queen, but it was a queen named Virginia. You see, matter of fact, I had them all up there. Let me get some things up here.
This is why it's a gap.
Y'all some Vespuccian niggas.
And this is why is there a gap in his understanding, because he's only going back to the 16th century. Okay, that's not far back enough to prove that you are in fact a national here on this land that they call America. He only saying here national America. That's all he know is history concerning America, and that's limited. Okay, that's limited. So you're gonna have to prove that you are in fact a national here. Let alone saying that your genealogy come from Africa, because you haven't proven the former nor the latter in our eyes. Okay, let's continue. Come on.
Y'all some Vespuccian niggas. Okay? Wait a minute, here we go. I think this was it right here. Yeah, I think this was it right here. Let me go hard by. Let me know. I can't play no games with you today. I can't play no games with you today. Let me see if it'll come up. New York. You see, where the old York? The old York is over there in Britain. You see? I mean, that should make, and so why people don't, goddamn everything over here named after Europe. What the fuck is you talking about? Y'all niggas acting like y'all slow, man. I mean, goddamn, some of this shit. Why don't they say you? Because it mean Europe, nigga. That's what it meant. The motherfucker who it was named after was a European. New Hampshire. There you go. Rock with me. Throw me some things in there. Make it plain, good brother. All the family out there, they won't throw something in there. Go and throw something in there. You understand? I'm gonna show you niggas. That's exactly what it means. So since you say you American, I want to know what part of York, nigga, you say. And we could go deeper into that. We can go, but you don't know nothing about that. That's layers of information. When we go over there. But anyway, it still serves its purpose, nigga. What part of York, nigga? Okay, you say you American, and that shit say New York, and the old York is in Britain. So motherfucker, explain to me, nigga, what your bloodline from York? It could be. Maybe you a York nigga. Yeah, you might be a York nigga too. You England. You might be you a New England nigga. You a New England nigga. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Maryland named after Queen Henrietta Maria of France. Okay, so you're American. I'm gonna show you everything in America and what the fuck. Louisiana was named after Louis, who was a French. He was a French king. I don't know if it was Louis the Fifth or whoever. So when you say you American, nigga, we showing you everything that's in America. Explain to me, nigga, what part of that is you, nigga? Only thing when you say, nigga, you a black American or you a black, even African American, and I just hate to say it, all you saying is you the white man's nigga. That's all you saying. You the white man's nigga. That's all you say. St. Louis, there you go. Drop heavy. Drop heavy. Don't tiptoe. You see what I'm saying? And so you black, nigga, black tell you what you look like, but it don't tell you where you're from. And ain't nothing wrong with black. That's one of our spiritual divine identifications. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we are black. You see, yes, we are black. But see, black tell you it's more of a spiritual cosmic identification. You see, now you got to deal with your planetary.
This nigga up in the sky, up in the cosmos and shit.
From the divine melanin of the universe. Yes, what you see out there is also in us. So yes, we understand that. But even a lot of people say
no, you
they
don't
want to say African, that they sometimes, they rather say black. Nigga, you act like you're the only one that use the term black people. When you go to Sudan, see, the only thing is you speaking English, nigga. You see, but what does Sudan or Sudanese? Sudan means land of the blacks, the black land. That's what it means. Go look it up. So Sudan means the same thing. It's just in Arabic. You see, so you're not the first person that called yourself the black man or black woman or black people. You're not even the first to do that. You're not the first. So quit saying it and acting is okay. Kemet, land of the blacks. Okay, Kemet, land of Niger or nigger, whichever one you prefer. It was no Niger before the 16th century. So if you all right with Niger, that's okay. You see, but nigger, what does it mean? Latin for black. Okay, land of the blacks. And West Africa was called the Western Sudan. Okay, land of the blacks. So you're not even the first nigga to use that. So I mean, what are you talking about? Nigga?
Not a darn thing.
In a paradigm, nigga. You locked in a paradigm. Okay, I'm gonna ask all you a good American niggas. And listen, I understand the nationality part. I ain't mad.
No, you don't.
I mean, it is what
no,
it is.
you don't.
You see, it is what it is.
I'm about to show you that he ain't saying nothing, Archbishop.
They say wherever you born, that's your nationality. You see? But unfortunately, when we was born, that damn near half the time we been here, we was in slavery. You see, half the time we was in slavery, and so I mean, wow, we want to identify with a motherfucking nation, and we understand the legal and all We understand that. That's okay.
No, you don't.
Nevertheless, let's get to some serious points that we were brought here illegally.
All right, that's enough. All right, enough of this foolishness. All right, so he's saying you're not English. He's not English. He's saying he black. He identified with black as a result of his ancestors, based upon his understanding of genealogy, from those who descended from the Sudanese. And we know the Sudanese are those who were called the Nubians or the ancient Kushites. All right. And we know the ancient Kushites goes all the way back to the 25th dynasty, which were actually Berbers. Okay. They were called Berbers, and Berbers were English, Brother Sanwa Seti. They were the English people. Okay. Majority of the members of our temple know this, but I'm gonna have to explain this again for those that don't. Okay, so let's get to it. All right. He first said his American is his nationality, and Africa is his genealogy. Okay. America is his nationality, and Africa is his genealogy. Okay. So he has to connect that to some type of status here in America based upon either blood, just sanguineous, which apparently he says is in Africa, and by being born on the soil, by based upon you being just soil, being born on the soil, which is his nationality called American. But we know American was founded by colonists, whether they were in Africa, as you say, or whether they were on the European, what we call the Iberian Peninsula, or in Great Britain, whatever it is, any person that's not of English descent or did not uh, 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 descend or be a part of the English government are not citizens here in the land that you now call America, because you said that is your nationality. And your genealogy goes back to Africa, which is incorrect as well, because the same genealogy here in America is the same genealogy in North America and in Africa. And all that is rooted in blood, all right? Genetics, okay? And the genetic connection to there and here is Berber, okay? It's Berbers. Let's prove it. Let's start right here from the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica again, as we always been reviewing. I'm going to be real quick with it. Well said, Countess Cersei. Dr. R.G. Latham, who writes all that is not Arabic in the Kingdom of Morocco. Now, you know, Arabia is from Arabic. Arabic is the language of those from Arabia, which is on the other side of the Red Sea, contrast to Sudan. Sudan is on the side of what we call the Nile, the white Nile and the blue Nile, okay? And this is the territory that the Berber inhabitants actually existed, that you call the ancient Nubians or the ancient Black Pharaohs or the ancient Kushites. Okay, they were actually Berbers. Dr. R.G. Langton, who writes all that is not Arabic in the Kingdom of Morocco, all that is not Arabic in French provinces of Algeria. So they're not talking about Algeria over in Arabia, but they're talking about Algeria over in the territory and what we call the territory on the Iberian Peninsula. Okay. Then it said, and all that is not Arab in Tunis, Tripoli, and Fezan is Berber. Okay. The explanation lies in the profound distinction of character. The Arab is a herdsman and a nomad. The Berber is an agriculturist and a townsman. The Arab has built his social structure on the Quran, which inculcates absolutism, aristocracy, theocracy. The Berber, despite his Mohammedanism ways, i.e., his ways that were a result of amalgamation as a result of learning, teaching, indoctrination, It says that even though it's nominal, despite his nominal Mohammedanism, he is a Democratic with his Jimna or Witamat and his Kanum or unwritten code called the Magna Carta. So we see here that the Berbers, no matter where they were at or no matter what territory that they were in, all right, they had a government, they had laws, they had a body of politics, they had customs, traditions, which they passed down through their predecessors, okay, which is called successors. This word modern day we call heirs. So you must understand that if you're saying that you got some type of connection to those descendants there in what you call North Africa, all right, going back to the 25th dynasty, all right, which were actually Berbers, then you better prove it by way of some law from that government over there and that's established over here or recognized over here, okay? If you can't do that, then you know who you say you are, brother. We are Anglo-Saxon Berbers. We are, in fact, the English, okay? And yes, we can be over here and be English. We can be over there and what you call Morocco today and be English because that's our nationality. That's our allegiance to our political society. It's not our civil status. The civil status is based upon your choice, what you choose to be your status. We choose Englishmen. Let's prove it because we are in England, not over there in what you call United Kingdom, not over there in what you call Africa. We are in England today. Why? Because the body of politics that governs England goes along or follow its people. Okay? The politics follows its people. You just forgot the politics, so now you're subject to the laws of a foreigner. You must comprehend that. You can't comprehend it from hearing it. So I got to show you, okay, so you can comprehend it. So let's do that. Let's look at English overseas possessors. Do I want to start there? No. Let's start here. The Kingdom of England. Let's start with the Kingdom of England. A picture speaks 1,000 words. We've been through this Wikipedia page time after time. But we have to have eyes to see what the Spirit says to us. All right? I'm giving you the eyes to see because I'm allowing you to interpret the Spirit how it was originally designed to be received. Okay? Very important. Only I can do this. Let's prove it. The Kingdom of England was a sovereign state on the islands of Great Britain. From the early 10th century, when it was unified from various Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, this is called a heptarchy, all right, until the 1st of May, 1707, when it united with Scotland to form the Kingdom of Great Britain. Once again, the Kingdom of England was a sovereign state when it unified into one state based upon the kings of Wessex, okay? It's going back to the 9th century, Alfred the Great, okay? And then as a result of invasions of Vikings, foreigners, immigrants, all right, somehow they became a part or instituted their laws and created their own body of politics. This came with the Union of the Crowns in 1603, which brought about what we call the Treaty of Union in 1707. So it says that when it was unified from various Anglo-Saxon kingdoms and until the May 1st, 1707, when it united with Scotland to form what they call the Kingdom of Great Britain, which would later become the United Kingdom. The Kingdom of England was among the most powerful states in Europe during the medieval and early medieval period. Okay? The Kingdom of England, not Great Britain, not the United Kingdom, but the Kingdom of England was among the most powerful states in Europe during the medieval and early modern periods. And if you're saying, Brother Sarmasu said that Europe is over here, then you're absolutely right. The Kingdom of England was over here. All right? You just know the history about Europe, but there's a lot of history century concerning Europe that you fail to understand, and that which concerns the people or the heirs or the descendants of the kingdom of England, which is over here. They're called overseas possessions. Okay? So they're still subject to the laws governing England, whether they're where the government is located or whether locations that are under control of the government where that government is located. And that government happened to be located here in North America. has always been and forever be here in North America. Not over there in what you call United Kingdom or Great Britain. All right? That only came as a result of them infiltrating the government here in North America going back to 927. Okay? It's very important for you to understand that. And the only way you can understand it if I show you. Let's see. God in my right. Look at the map of Great Britain. All right? The map of Great Britain, Ireland, and Scotland. Nothing else is pictured in the green. Okay? Nothing else is pictured in the green. It says the location of the Kingdom of England from 1558 to 1707. The location is a geographical area. And if it's dealing with the Kingdom of England, then that means this is where the government is located at. But it didn't note to where the government was located at prior to 1558. Okay? It never said anything about where the government was located at prior to 1558. If everyone understands that, please give me a thumbs up in the chat line before we go any further else. Come on, y'all. Everybody understand that the government of the location of the Kingdom of England was located in 1558 to 1707 was in an area now located and now called United Kingdom of Great Britain, formerly called Britain, but the name of England and the location of that area is now suspect. Okay, it's now suspect. We have to question the location now. The location. So if the location of the Kingdom of England is located in the area lit up in blue from 1558 to 1707, where was the government of England located prior to 1558? Because if it's not over there and where they say it is, then from 1558 to 1707 is irrelevant. Whatever laws they passed, whatever decrees they instituted, whatever memorandums they passed down are null and void because the government that preceded them has premises, okay, has presidents. So the location of the Kingdom of England is very important, but where the government was at prior to the location that we're talking about must be understood, and that's based upon you understanding the term itinerant court. Okay? Itinerant court. Let's just look that up first before we move forward. Thanks, Archbishop. I was going to say that, but I didn't have it pulled up. Right there, pop right up. Itinerant court. Itinerant court was a migratory form of government shared in European kingdoms during the early Middle Ages. It was an alternative to having a capital city, a permanent political center governed by a kingdom. Medieval Western Europe was generally characterized by a political rule wherein the highest political authorities frequently changed their location, bringing parts of the country's central government on their journey. Yeah, it is. Therefore, such a agreement has no actual center or permanent seat of government. Itinerant courts were gradually replaced from the 13th century when stationary royal residence began to develop in modern capital cities. So you must understand that we're working with an itinerant court of the kings, called the King's Court, which is right here in North America, brothers and sisters. Right here in New Jersey, brothers and sisters. Right here in Perth Amboy, brothers and sisters, where it has always been. Okay? Where it has always been. Let's see. Back to the Kingdom of England. So if the location of the Kingdom of England from 1558 from 1707 is located over in what they call the UK now or Great Britain, then we need to understand the history prior to 1558 concerning the Kingdom of England and the location where it was. All right, concerning the people there. All right, which is in the next paragraph right here. All right, right here. Right, so. Histories of the Kingdom of England from the Norman conquest of 1066 conventionally distinguish periods named after successive ruling dynasties. The Norman Angevin, 1066 to 1216, that's us. Plantagenet, 1216 to 1485, that's us. The House of Tudors from 1485 to 1603, that's when they took over our estate. The House of Stuart from 1603 to 1707. That's the unification of the crown from 1603 to the Treaty of Union in 1707, which caused a what? An interregnum from 1649 to 1660. All English miners after 1066 ultimately descended from the Normans, and the distinction of the Plantagenet is conventional, beginning with Henry II, son of Godfrey V, Count of Anjou, son of Folk, the ruler of Jerusalem. You hear that? The Angevin king became more English in nature. The House of Lancaster and York are both Plantagenet cadet branches, which Henry VII took over. The Tudor dynasty claimed the descent of Edward III, via John Beaufort, and James VI of Scotland, and the first assumed king of England of the House of Stuart claimed descent from Henry VII from the market of Tudors. All right, so it's right there. All right, it's right there. So everything dealing with 1558 on up to Treaty of Union has to deal with from the House of Tudors to the House of from the House of Tudors, yes, to what we call Queen Anne and to this present day. Okay, we must understand that. All right, and to understand that, you have to move it from the location where they had it at in 1558 and take it back to the location they got it based upon English overseas possessions, which is in, according to they stated this in the 1700s, 7 years prior to 1707, the Treaty of Union. And look at the location of the Kingdom of England and the government of the Kingdom of England based upon it being the itinerant court. Okay, when it was ruled back by the prior kings, going back to 1066, and we know in 1066 the Anglo-Saxon king Edward the Confessor was ruling before they were invaded by Danish kings. Okay, in 1066, what was his name? We spoke about him in my last lecture. Harold Godwinson, and Harold Godwinson was followed by who? William the Conqueror. William the Conqueror invaded in 1066. He was the first English renowned king. Prior to that, all the kings were what? Berber kings, okay? And they were not over in what they call United Kingdom of Great Britain. They were over here, right here in North America. Why? Because when you look at the English overseas possessions, it includes the location that they see in the upper box, all lighted up in green. All right? But the location of the government was not where it is in 1558 to 1707. It was somewhere else, as you can see in the English overseas possessions in 1707. And from 1707 prior to that. And that goes back to 927, going back to Ashleton, okay? The great grandson of Alfred the Great, okay? Very important to understand that. So once again, if the government location, i.e. the itinerant court, was not over here and the territory located here, now called the Kingdom of England, all right, from 1558 to 1707, where was the location of the Kingdom of England, i.e. the government, i.e. the itinerant court seated at? Where was it at? Okay, because we see prior to we go to the English overseas possession, we're going to see that it goes back to the time of 927. Look, capital, 927 to 1066. London, 1066 to 1707. All right. So from 927 to 1066, our government location changed. The government of our ancestors changed. Okay. We must understand what's going on. For us to see that, let's go to English overseas possessions. English overseas possessions. All right. So now if these are the English overseas possessions and the location of the government of England from 1558 to 1707 is in what they call the territory now called Great Britain. Prior to that, there's a location of the government of England that's not over there where it was lit up in green in the box prior. Okay, the territory is lit up in red, but the government seat is not over there. The government seat is over here in what we call North America, because we understand that the government was an interim court before it moved over there to what we call Great Britain or Britain. When it was under the monarchs, it wasn't over there in 1558. It was sitting right over here in North America. Okay, it was sitting right over here in North America. There's no look. It says an English overseas possession comprised a variety of overseas territories that were colonized, conquered, or otherwise acquired by the Kingdom of England before 1707. You hear that? Before 1707. So that means between 1558 and 1707, we was at war. Okay, we were at war, brothers and sisters. How we know that? Let's go back to the origin of the English overseas possession before the location of our government was located over in what they call the territory now called United Kingdom from 1558 to 1707. Okay? But yet, the territories that England governed had English overseas possessions. Okay? That extended over here to North America. All right? And it was here prior to 1558, but still controlled the territory over there called Great Britain. We must comprehend that. All right? Let's see. The origin. The Kingdom of England is generally dated back to the rule of Ashton from 927. Okay? We read this in my last lecture. During the rule of the House of the Danish King, the House of Ninglinga, from 1013 to 1014 to 1016 to 1042. England was part of the personal union that included domains of Vikings known from Scandinavia. And 1066, William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, conquered England, making the Duchess a crown land and the English throne. Through the remainder of the Middle Ages, the King of England held extensive territories in France. So our territory had expanded. This is what you call the Anglo sphere. Let's look at the Anglo sphere before we go anywhere else. The Anglo sphere, as we can see here. The Anglo spirit, also known as the Anglo-American world, is the Anglo-American spirit of influence with a core group of nations that today maintain close political, diplomatic, and military cooperation. While the nations included in different sources vary, the Anglo spirit is usually not considered to include all countries where English, meaning what we call the Anglophone, is a official language. So that means that people of English descent spoke other languages as a result of the area where they were. All right, or as a result of immigration, amalgamation, conquer, what we call discovery, etc. All this stuff has to come into consideration. All right, but when we talk about the Anglo spirit deals with the territorial extent of the kings of England. How we know that? Because when we went back to English overseas possession, it goes back to 927. 927. And 927, the government that was ruling in 927 was not over here as we see here in 1558. It was not over here. You see it right there. So that means that the government of England, when it was originally located by the original inhabitants, which were called Anglo-Saxon Berbers, was right here in North America. It only makes sense because according to the 1911 encyclopedia, the Anglo-Saxons were Berbers, okay? The Anglo-Saxons were Berbers. We must understand this connection. Let's prove it even further. Let's look at it. Let's look at Alfred the Great, the king or the first king of England. In spite of what they want us to believe, Alfred the Great means wise elf, was the king of West Saxons from 871 to 886, and king of the Anglo-Saxons from 886 until his death in 899. He was the youngest son of King Ethelwulf and his first wife Osborne, who both died when Alfred was young. Three Alfred's brothers, Ethelbald, Ethelbert, and Ethelred, reigned in turn before him. Under Alfred's rule, considerable administrative and military reform were introduced, prompting lasting change in England. We must understand this. All right, let's prove this. Now we understand that Alfred the Great was the first king of England, and Alfred the Great was considered what? A free man. Okay, he was a free man. Let's go back to the article we did in my past lecture. Because Berbers were called freemen. All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Where's it at? Where is it at? Let me just find it. Treaty of Alfred. Where is it at? Okay, let me see. I thought I saved it. Let's see. All right. We're just gonna move forward. I'm not gonna mess around. And I want to block my screen. Let's continue on. All right. So we see. Let's go to Asherton first of all. All right. So Alfred the Great was the first king of Wessex. Okay. When we go back to the Kingdom of England, based upon its overseas possession, as we've seen on the map, was from 927 to 1558. It changed. Okay. Somehow it changed from being over here in North America, because when you see the English overseas possessions pursuant to the territories here in North America, it goes back to 927. Okay, and 927 is the time where Asherton was ruling. Okay, now Brother Sarmasudi had a problem with the English because he assumed that they were European and he would assume that they were white people. Okay, so you're disconnecting yourself with the family based upon your assumption, because your assumption is wrong. The 1911 encyclopedia says that the Anglo-Saxons were Berbers based upon the government. Okay, that's what the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica says, and they were free men. Alfred the Great created what they call the treaty of between Alfred the Great and Gulf was a Danish king, which was based upon the laws of necessity. Okay, and he made reference to them being free men. The word Berber means free man. Amazin means free man or free noble. Okay, now if Alfred the Great was a European of what we call, for the lack of a better term, a white skin, then why is his wife dark skinned? Okay, why is Alfred the Great's wife dark skinned? Let's see. His spouse name was Elsworth. All right. Now I revealed this a long time ago. So whoever's uh, editing Wikipedia must have made that connection and took her picture off. Okay. They didn't want you to see the complexion or the characteristics of King Alfred's wife. Okay. Very important for you to catch that because her picture was up here all the time. All of a sudden, it just vanished. All right. Just vanished. Family. Alfred was the son of Ethelwulf, King of Wessex, and his wife Osborne. According to his biographer, Assur, writing in 893, in the year of our Lord Incarnation, 849 Alfred, King of the Anglo-Saxons. When they say incarnation, they mean personified. When they say personified, that means sit in that seat as king. That was a representation of the incarnation of the godlike quality to rule. It's called the divine right of kings. Did you hear that? It's called the divine rights of king. Okay? So Alfred the Great was one of the saints, and he was also a king, and he was not out how it was depicted by other people who chronicalized or who historized that time era. Why? Because of course, if you're not those people, you're gonna make them come out to be looking like you. The same thing they did with the Mexicans. All right, the original Mexicans was the Olmecs. Now you got the Aztecs, the Incas, and everybody else. All right, this is invasion of privacy of the likeness of the names and the people based upon their culture and traditions. Okay, very, 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 very important. So we don't identify with these people because we don't think that they are us based upon if you want to identify with people based upon the color of skin. Nothing to do with their nationality, nothing to do with their genetics, but just the color of skin. All right. This is the position our people have taken. All right. Because they say that the original white people were the ones who were the kings of England who enslaved us. Well, that is not true. And you understand history. Why? Because look at Alfred the Great's wife. Her name was called Elsworth. Her name was called Elsworth. All our queens, this is your greatness, where your greatness come from. Ellsworth or Elsworth was the wife of King Alfred the Great. She was one of the most powerful, noblest women in early medieval England during the time of the Vikings. You hear that, y'all? She was the mother of King Edward the Elder, who succeeded King Alfred the Great to the Anglo-Saxon throne. Her father was a Mercian nobleman, Ethelred Musel Elderman of the Gani, which is thought to be made parts of it, though to be a old Mercian tribal group. Her mother was Egbert, a member of the Mercian royal family, and her lineage was one of the primary reasons for Alfred taking Ellsworth as his wife. Her legacy persists after her death in the nunnery she was founded and the estates left to her by Alfred. Okay? Now, you don't see no picture of her up here. Okay? Why they take it down? Because I made the connection. When no one was talking about this, they can put it right in your face. But as soon as somebody made the connection, it became a problem. Okay? Here's a picture of Ellsworth. Look at it, everybody. This is our great ancestors. Alfred the Great's wife. This is Elsworth, the wife of Alfred the Great. Okay, the grandmother of Ashelson. See how they try to whitewash the image? These are your ancestors with locks. You see that? I didn't even notice that. She got locks. All right? Very important to understand that Alfred the Great was ruling over here in North America, okay? Before they moved the government over to what they call the territory now known as Great Britain. All right? Yes, we were here already. They didn't say that the location of England from 927 to 1707. They said the location of England from 558 to 5, what was it? Right here. So back to this map again. 1558. It's the location of the Kingdom of England was here in 1558 to 1707. Okay? And it had other English overseas territories connected to this location here in 1558 to 1707. There was other English overseas possessions, all right, prior to it being in this location here in 1558 to 1707, okay? So if the government of England, which is sitting over here in this territory here in 1558 to 1707, where was the government sitting at in if it wasn't here in 15, where was the government sitting at prior to 1558? And what I mean by that, because there was other English overseas possessions that England had under their control from 1558 to 1707. So if the English overseas possession that was controlled by the Kingdom of England was here in 1558 to 1707, where was the government located at prior to 1558 and 1707, governing the overseas English overseas possessions? Okay, where was it located? It was located right here, right here, from 1927 to 1707. Kingdom of England governed all this, and the location of the government was here prior to they moving it over to there. Because you can see here on this map, you still see United Kingdom still lit up. Okay, it's not red. I mean, it's red now. It's not green. All right. On the other map, it was green. Okay, but no English overseas possessions are shown. All right. No English overseas possessions are shown when the location of the Kingdom of England controlling the overseas possessions is established right here. Okay? No other English overseas possessions is shown. All right? So the question becomes, do they really control those English overseas possessions if their location of their government is located here? Do they really control that? That becomes the question. Because the only one that control it, based upon the jure regalia under the king's radical title, is the king, a de jure king. And the de jure king is the one who has the right to be able to take back the land that was taken from them based upon what we call acquisition of sovereignty, which we discussed in my prior class. And the only kings that can do that was the kings going back here from 927 to 1707. That's going back from Asherton, the great grandson of Alfred the Great. And all of them were of darker complexion. Okay? Darker complexion. Why? Because they were Berbers. They were Berbers. All right? They were, in fact, Berbers. And the Berbers were these families: the kings of Wessex, the Plantagenets, the Angevins, all right, the Yorks, the Lancasters. So Sarasudi made the question and said, is you American or you from the House of York? Are you an American or are you from the House of York? I'm pretty sure all of you can agree with me that we're going to say we're from the House of York. Am I right or not? Are you going to agree with me, everyone who's on this podcast right now, that we're going to say that we descended down from the House of York and not from America? Because America is not a nationality. Okay, America was inhabited prior to the colonists who named it America got here. It had a name of its own. That was called the Kingdom of England. Okay, the Kingdom of England. So let's look at Ashton. Okay, and we know that the English overseas possessions and the government that was governing England in the overseas possession was not over there in Great Britain. It was right over here, right here in North America. Right here in North America. Yes, the white rose and the red rose. The English seed over possessions, English overseas English possessions was right here in North America. Now called North America. All right, right here, and that goes back to Ashton. All right, and Ashton was another melanated brother. Melanated. Melanated. Y'all see that? These were saints. These were gods. Right over here in North America. Right over here in North America. These were Berbers. All right? They had the genetics within them. Right? It was very deep within them, but you had to remember it. Okay? The genetics. We here at the English Third Temple English Church of England understand the genetics. It's very important to understand that because it tells us who we are. How I know it? Just look at it. Abiogenesis. Abiogenesis. Listen very close, y'all. Abiogenesis is the natural process by which life arises from non-living matter, such as simple organic. Before I even put that in there, let me put this in here. We can go right into our treasure chest and pull out terms that a lot of you have no clue on. One second. Like that. One more. Grams. What the hell? I was just pulling up. Oh yeah, ambiogenesis. Okay, here we go. Engrams. If you can't remember, you got a problem. Engram is a unit of cognitive informal imprinted information imprinted in the physical substance. Theorized, hold on, before we even get there, let me just pull this out. So I'm not up here talking. I'm not making up stuff. I'm showing you. This is funny. Listen very close. We are gods, brothers and sisters. We are gods. All right. Embryogenesis. This is how you get to go home. Okay? This is what I've been sent to y'all to show you how you get back home. I'm gonna simplify it for you. Embryogenesis. Okay. Embryogenesis is the natural process by which life arises from non-living matter, such as simple organic compounds. The prevailing scientific hypothesis is that the transition from non-living entities on Earth was not a single event, meaning it was not by chance, okay, but a process of increasing complexities involving the formation of habitable planets and the prebiotic synthesis of organic molecules, molecular self-replication, self-assembly, autocatalysis, and the emergence of cell membranes. You hear that? Cell membrane. The transition from non-life to life has never been observed experimentally, but many proposals have been made for different stages of the process. So they're talking about from non-living things to living things, non-living matter to living matter. Okay? This is what we're talking about. You must remember who you are and how you got here. Okay? You must understand the concept of Luca, last universal common ancestor. Okay? This is called understanding your DNA, your genetics, okay? Your genes. All right? The information is within you. Okay? It don't you don't it's already within you. You just gotta discover it. And I'm trying to teach you how to discover it by these terms. Let's see. The study of abiogenesis aims to determine how pre-life chemical reactions gave rise to life under conditions striking different from those on Earth today, and primarily uses the tool from biology and chemistry, with conditions striking points with more recent approaches attempting a synthesis of many sciences. Life functions through the specialized chemistry of carbon and water, and builds largely upon four key families of chemical lipids for cell membranes, carbohydrates such as sugar and amino acids for protein metabolism, and nucleic acid, DNA, and RNA for those mechanisms of hereditary. Any successful theory of abiogenesis must explain the origin and interaction of these classes of molecules. We know molecules are based upon atoms, okay? Molecules are based upon atoms, and when that's based upon, and that causes what we call through chemical reaction, through chemical interaction, it causes a chemical reaction, which allows what we call cell multiplication. Cell multiplication. Happens to what we call the eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells. The process of embryogenesis happens to what we call horizontal gene transfer. Okay, horizontal gene transfer. Let's pull that up real quick since we're on the subject. So, Brother Sharon Student said, if you're going to go up to the cosmos or out there beyond, you're going to have to explain that. All right? You just can't talk about it. You need to explain that down, break that down to a primitive where people can comprehend. Okay? It's governed by mathematics. Okay? We must comprehend that. All right? Horizontal gene transfer, which is what we call abiogenesis. All right? Autocatalysis. This is what this is. Horizontal gene transfer or lateral gene transfer is the movement of genetic material between organisms other than by the vertical transmission of DNA from parent to offspring reproduction. HGT, horizontal gene transfer, is an important factor in the evolution of many organisms, not just in human beings, but everything on this planet. Okay? Horizontal gene transfer is influencing scientific understanding of higher order evolution while more significantly shifting perspectives on bacterial evolution, i.e., your genetics, your genes. All right? Your genes, based upon your genetics, genealogy, decides of who you go back, your ancestors. Okay? We must understand, and this is what I'm trying to show you. Let's see. Horizontal gene transfer is recognized as a pervasive evolutionary process that distributes genes between divergent prokaryotic lineage. Prokaryotic lineage and can also involve eukaryotic yolks. Prokaryotic yolks are called extraterrestrial genes. Extraterrestrial genes. They were already here before we even got here. Okay? It was already here on the planet when the planet was evolving. It already had us in mind when we were created. But we were not that evolution creation that created last, i.e., human beings. We're not human beings. We are gods, all right? Because we understand our existence prior to us becoming what you call a human being. Okay? Horizontal gene transfer is recognized as a pervasive evolutionary process that distributes genes between divergent prokaryotic lineages and can also involve eukaryotes. Horizontal gene transfer events are thought to occur less frequently in eukaryotes than in prokaryotes. However, growing evidence indicates that HGT is relatively common among many eukaryotic species and can have an impact on adaptation to novel environments. Its studies, however, is hindered by the complexities of eukaryotic genomes and the abundance of repeat-rich regions, which complicate the accurate identification and characterization of the transfer of genes. This is called the GMAT2 gene or the God gene, okay? The VMAC2 gene or the God gene. I did a lesson on that already. I ain't got time to go through it. So if you haven't viewed that, you need to go check it out. Okay? So that means that the God gene is within you. You just have to remember the God gene. Because if you don't comprehend this information, then you're not a God. Okay? Because through evolution, human beings were the last thing created through evolution. Okay? If you are a melanated being, you cannot be the last thing created in evolution because everything on the planet has melanin. Okay? And they were all created before the human being. So if human beings, as you say you are you, then that means that you are a white man. Because a white man lacks melanin like everything else on the planet lacks melanin. Because the melanin is the genetic key to understanding who you are, what you are, and how to get back damn home. Okay? We must understand that. You don't believe me? Let's look at extraterrestrial. Since we're on the topic. Since we're on the subject. You are an extraterrestrial having an experiment. You're in a spacesuit right now. You're moving through space and time, right? And you're subject to the laws governing space and time, which is what we call matter. Okay, contrast to antimatter. Okay, matter contrasts to antimatter. So you existed before the embryogenesis. You existed before the autocatalysis from non-living things to living things. You what gave life to it. You are that prokaryotic cell, that genetic material that was already here on the planet prior to the creation of life. Prior to the creation of life. Let's prove it. Extraterrestrial life or alien life, colloquially alien, is a life which does not originate from Earth. You hear that? No extraterrestrial life has yet been scientifically conclusively detected. Such life might range from simple forms such as prokaryotic yolks to intelligent life forms. It didn't say a eukaryotic cell, did it, y'all? It said a prokaryotic yolk to intelligent being, possibly bringing forth civilizations that might be far more advanced than humans. Humans were created as the last thing through the evolutionary chain. Okay, the last universal common ancestor. So if you were the last thing to evolve on this planet, you better find out your last common ancestors. All right. Our last common ancestor was the prokaryote because that was created intelligent beings that would be more far civilized than you call a human. Okay, it said it right there. Such life may range from simple forms such as prokaryotic yolks to intelligent beings, possibly bringing forth civilizations that might be far more advanced than humans. This is called genes, cell lineage. Okay, cell lineage, genetic understanding of who you are and how you got here. If you don't understand that, you will not be going back home. The Drake equation speculates about the existence of sapient life elsewhere in the universe. Did you hear that? Speculates about existence of sapient life elsewhere in the universe. The science of extraterrestrial life is known as astrobiology, study of the stars. Okay? So you are the essence of a star. Okay, I ain't got time to go break that down, but from the basic understanding, based upon how you got here, you must comprehend that your genetic material, i.e., nuclear DNA, not mitochondrial DNA, but nuclear DNA. Nuclear DNA was embedded in the prokaryote, which is the genetic tie to your extraterrestrial cell. All right, and it was lost. Why? Because they cut off the God gene. Let's look at the BMAT2 gene. Since we're on the subject, if you ain't comprehending what I'm telling you, then you in a world of trouble. Okay. We know human beings evolved from the eukaryotic yolk. Eukaryote, which is the cell dealing with mitochondrial DNA, dealing with the genetic material of the embedded in the nucleus of a genome. Okay, we must understand that. It says that the God gene hypothesis proposes that human beings' spirituality is influenced by hereditary and that specific genes called vesicular monoamine transporter 2 gene or the BMAC2 gene presupposes humans towards spiritual and mystic experiences. Did you hear that? Mystic and spiritual experiences. Okay? We must understand that. So the God gene is called the VMAC2 gene, which is called neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters allow information called energy to become and be changed into a chemical substance. All right, and then transform to what we call a chemical signal. Okay, which you use to your neurological system to what we call your somatic nervous system. All right. So the God gene is the VMAC2 gene that allows you to understand who you were prior to you coming here. It's based upon your cell lineage. All right. But you have to remember that because we just read that what horizontal gene transfer is the ability for you to understand how your God self or God-like qualities got here through your genetics. Okay, from a prokaryote cell, which is an extraterrestrial genetic gene that originated from outside of this universe. Okay, because universe is concerned with everything subject to space and time. Anything that's not subject to space and time is dealing with the fourth dimension. Okay, ether outside of space and time, which this is where we're trying to go. All right, mentally, not physically, because physical is an illusion. I'm going to prove it to you right now. All right. So just look at it. Horizontal gene transfer is based upon the prokaryotic cell, which is the extraterrestrial cell, which is called the God gene or the VMAC2 gene, which is the ability to be able to allow those neurological signals to be received and being interpreted. Okay, like you're doing now. If you can't grasp it, that means that your neurological network is somehow disrupted. Okay, and you can't download. It's called mental uploading. The same way how computers do it, digital uploading, we call it mental uploading to your mind, not your brain. Because the brain, when it uploads based upon the five faculties: taste, touch, smell, and sight, which is only one, a sense. It's called sensory. Okay? So, in order for you to have common sense, things must make sense. You're right, Mutaka Bear. She has dreadlocks. Well said. All right. So, let's see. Let's just go through it before I go back to the original lesson. All right. So an extraterrestrial gene is called a prokaryotic cell. Okay? A prokaryotic cell was the genetic material passed on to the eukaryotic cell through what we call horizontal gene transfer. This is the genetic material that is in every life organism on the planet that allows it to become what it was designed to do or designed to be. And we understand that um, a lot human beings, how they interpret information, which is wrong, is based upon their sensory, okay? Which is, as I said, taste, touch, smell, sight. And usually that's based upon your skin, okay? Skin, all right? That's the first, what they call line of defense. Your muscular self, your muscular self, the first line of defense, because everything within it is the body runs off. So if it doesn't have any protection, the outer layer keeps it protected. Okay, everything that's going in your body works on its own without you having anything to do with it. Okay, but you must understand that why this is going on, not just based upon your existence here on the planet, because there's nothing more than the spacesuit for you to learn why you are here in this space. So what are you learning here while you are in this space called a suit? Okay? And the suit called the body, i.e. the human body, is made up of what we call biomolecules. Okay? Biomolecules, organic compounds. All right? Oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, what else? And many other compounds that are composed of. But the important thing to understand is that the genetic material that's embedded in you gives you the ability to be able to continue to what they call it. It's called a symbiosis to manifest, multiply. Okay, that's based upon understanding of yourself. So it said the extraterrestrial is a prokaryotic cell, which is which part cell. Such life might range from simple forms such as prokaryotic to intelligent being, possibly bringing forth civilization that might be far more advanced than human beings. So the prokaryotic genetic material that's embedded in the eukaryotic cell allows a species to become more involved in human beings, though who are involved in the planet, and that was the last thing to evolve out of all species on the planet. Okay, so that means that they have more of a closer understanding of their genetics, what makes them tick. Okay, that the every other organism on the planet does it, and they don't even question it. Okay, they just know, they just do, they just act. Okay, but somehow we forgot. So how can we just act? How can we just do? I'm gonna show you why. Let's see. All right. So we know what horizontal genes for is. Horizontal genes for is a transfer from information, genetic information from the prokaryotic cell to the eukaryotic cell. Okay, very, very, very important. From the eukaryotic cell to the from the prokaryotic cell to the eukaryotic cell. And the only way this can be done is based upon engrams. Okay, engrams because it's all based upon embryogenesis from non-living matter to living matter. And we know matter is all things subject to what we call space, time, density, volume, mass. Okay? Let's look at it right quick. Matrix. In biology, not in spookism. Matrix in biology. In biology, matrix, mattress, this comes from mathematics, means to measure. It's a material or tissue in between the eukaryotic organism cell. Did y'all hear that? In biology, matrix is a material, all right? A material. We know what material is. The body is a material, all right? It's made up of organic material, okay? Biomolecules, all right? Organic compounds, all right? What we call a substance, a chemical substance, all right? In biology, it is a material or tissue in between the eukaryotic organism or cell. So we're talking about the eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell is the genetic material that carries the mitochondrial DNA for multicellular evolution, okay? Which is a part of what we call embryogenesis. Let's look at that word again. Embryogenesis. Right here. While the last universal common ancestor of modern organisms, Luca, is thought to have been quite different from the origin of life. Investigations into the last universal common ancestor can guide research into early universal characteristics. A genomic approach has sought to characterize Luca by identifying the genes shared by archaea and bacteria, members of the two major branches of life, which eukaryotes include an Arcadian branch and the two domain system. It appears there are 60 proteins common to all life and 355 prokaryotic genes that traces to the last universal common ancestor. Their functions implied that Luca was an anaerobic with the wood, how do you pronounce that word pathway deriving energy by chemiosymbiosis and maintaining its hereditary material within the DNA. The genetic code and ribosomes, although the Luca last universal common ancestors lived over 4 billion years ago. Researchers believe it was far from the first form of life. Earlier cells might have had a leaky membrane and been powered by naturally occurring proton gradient near a deep sea white smoke or hydrogen vent. So this goes back into the genetic material that was embedded in the earth when the earth was going through its chemical change, its chemical reaction through lava, what we call what they call the air vents, what they call them, uh, air pockets. This is where the algae and the bacteria starts to unfold, multiply. Okay, this is called multicellular DNA. All right, so eukaryotic cell is very important because when we define matrix, it's at the tissue of the eukaryotic cell. It's at the tissue of the eukaryotic cell. Why is this important? Biology is the material or tissue in between the eukaryotic organism cell. Let's see why it's important. Let's look up engrams now. Engrams. Engram is a unit of cognitive information imprinted in physical substances derived by the means by which memories are stored as biophysical or biochemical changes in the brain or other biological tissue in response to external stimuli. It didn't say internal stimuli, it said external stimuli. External stimuli is the stimuli outside of yourself. That's your five senses. Am I right? That's just outside of yourself, your tissue. This is where melanin comes in. Okay? This is where melanin comes in. So not to get off into study of biology, etc. Understanding everything about yourself is very important for your transition out of here. All right, your transition out of here. This is why a lot of the information that we teach here at the Third Timothy English Church of England don't concern a lot of people. It don't concern you because you did not originate it. You're not a part of the original people. And that's the choice that a lot of us are going to have to make because you don't remember. Okay? You don't remember. Biochemical. What is biochemical? Biochemical or biochemistry is the study of chemical processes within relating to living organisms. You must understand biology. You must understand cells, atoms, protons. All right? You must understand bacteria, genome. You must understand all that and put it in its proper perspective in order for there to be a tie, a connection. Okay? Memory, engrams. Okay? Engram is a unit of cognitive information imprinted in physical substance. The physical substance is your body, your human body. It maintains memories about your true self on a chemical, biochemical level. Okay? On a biochemical level and changes in the brains or other biological tissue. Let's look at the word biochemical. I mean, biophysical. Biophysics is an interdisciplinary science that applies approaches and methods traditionally used in physics to study biochemical phenomena. So something is happening within you without you even knowing it. Okay? A change is taking place as a result of your memory. Remembering, those who can't remember, they're stuck in the same condition. Okay? They're stuck in their old ways. They will not progress. Why? Because there is a damaged DNA. Okay? Damaged DNA, damaged RNA. We must comprehend that. So back to engram. Engrams are a unit of cognitive information imprinted in physical substance derived by which memories are stored. What are memories, y'all? Memory is the faculty of mind by which data or information is encoded, stored, or retrieved when needed. It is the retention of information over time for the purpose of influencing future actions. Did you hear that? Memory is the faculty of the mind by which data information is encoded, stored, and retrieved when needed. When needed. Okay, it was already embedded in you. It was just not retrieved. Why? Because you don't know how to retrieve it. Okay, so if this is the case, that means that you have amnesia. Okay, it is the retention of information over time for the purpose of influencing future action. Without a past, you have no present, and without no present, you have no future. Okay, your present for a future depends upon your past. Okay. Your present future depends upon your past. All right, you got to remember how you got here in order to go back to where you came. All right, we are Berbers. We have always been here through time immemorial. Why? Because it's genetics. How I know? Let's just look at it. This material has already been documented for members of the Third Timothy Church of England. Let's just look at it real quick before I move on. The children of God. I already have material for the heirs. Eukaryogenesis, in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. That's you. You created all this. All right? Berber, Ethiopians, Cush, burnt ones. All right? Ether, you are the etheric beings. But you have to not just remember who you are physically, you have to remember who you are biologically, what you call on a genetic level, because that is the key. Okay? A lot of us don't understand ourselves genetically, having a genetic tie to your ancestors. All right? A lot of people claim their genealogy is over there in Africa. Okay? like Brother Sarasudi said, his genealogy is in Africa, but his nationality is here in America. Our genealogy and nationality is here in North America because that's where our genetic came from. Okay? The genetic material that gave us the ability to evolve into the understanding of who we were based upon the ancestors who we descend down from started right here in North America before human beings even came on the planet. Okay? Before we even came into the planet, the Berbers already knew this. The Berbers were the inhabitants of what they call Morocco today, i.e., the Maghreb, from the Nile River all the way to the Atlantic coast and even farther west. Okay? To the extreme. Okay? That will be here. Okay? We are the same people. Let's qualify it. This is a book that I created for all the members. Same subject. Same subject. Prokaryotic cell, intelligent beings, which gave us the ability, if we remember, to become gods again. All right? Because this genetic substance or chemical substance was embedded deep in the earth, and it had the chemical the genetic information that allowed when the time came for evolution to start to come about. Okay, we must understand that, and that took place right here. Okay, right here. This is prove it right quick. I mean, I start from outside of before space and time. I start way before that. If you look at this map right here, when we talked about abiogenesis, abiogenesis starts with from non-living matter to living matter, meaning before evolution, then to evolution. Okay? From non-living matter to living matter. Before evolution to evolution. Okay? To things that evolve, things that to become having mass. Okay? Very important. Okay? Matter. Okay? Matter. Our origin, where we come from, wasn't from matter. We just exist here as a result of our stay here based upon the understanding, our understanding on space and time. So as you can see here, it shows you that the prokaryotic cell, which gave birth to the eukaryotic cell, started right here in North America. You see that? North America. Right here. I think I got a bigger map right here. Right here. Okay? Most of the prokaryotic cells which gave birth to the genetics or the genes that allow for evolution to take place started right here in North America. All right? They started through the hot spring sediments, the vent sediments, the mangrove sediments, microbial mats, marine water, marine sediments, estuary sediments, freshwater hydrosoil, terrestrial soil. Very important. They said terrestrial soil. Okay? All the genetic material for us to become who we are from non-living matter to living matter was divinely embedded in us from nuclear material to genetic material. We must comprehend that. Here is a layout for that. Okay, for all things on the planet, started from atoms, molecules, all right, organic compounds, to things that evolve based upon what we call life. Okay, life. Very important for you to understand that. Everything is already detailed for you. All right? All detailed for you. So if you haven't uh, know this information, there's lessons that I've done on our platform that you can go and view and get a upgrade of information so that you can be on the same level. Okay? So let me move forward. I'll also have another book for our brothers and sisters on Berber cell lineage, okay, from the cosmos, okay, not just from evolution, but our existence here is coming from the cosmos, I break that down for you. Make sure I was on the right book. Yeah, right here. Let's just look at the glossary real quick before I move on. All for the Berbers. Okay, all for us, the Berbers. History of the Berber surname. Attestation to the Berber surname. The Hopalong group. The calendar. Our new year. Okay, the migration. The maps. Genetic migration. The Gregorian maps. The Berber timetable. I'll show you all of that. Okay, and I'll show that connection to us as being the English Anglo-Saxon Berbers, going back to the Cheddar Man, Cheddar Gorge, the Dogon tribe cave, progenates of the Cheddar Grove, the Orthodox Benedictine Monastery, testimony of the progeny. I cover all that. Okay. What else? I'll show you the Athling progeny, the reason why we have these surnames. I'll show you what home away from home, the Athling nobility, the crown of immortality, cosmogony immortality. I explain all that. Mysteries of the terrestrial spirit. I explain that. What else? Nuclear DNA in the sky. Right, so. Nuclear DNA in the sky. Where's it though? Where's that? Nuclear DNA in the sky, double helix nebula, God's eye, the Orion's nebula. I explain that. Cyrus, the white dwarf. I break that down for you. Which was Queen Sophia or Cyrus A. I break that down. I showed you the connection to the image of Christ and the symbology connected to that. I break down the golden age, 7 millenniums, God's cosmogony. I break that down. DNA, RNA, I break that down from nuclear DNA to mitochondrial DNA, what we were just talking about. That's explained. I go through all of that. All that's is already written down, preserved for when you come home. Okay? From when you come home. Also got another book, okay, concerning the members, all right, of the Third Timothy English Church of England. Very, very important. Already prepared for you. There's your king, King Edgar the Peaceful. All right, this is waiting for you. The history of the Anglo-Saxon Berbers from time immemorial, Volume 1, Volume 1, Agnatic Primogeniture, authorized by your king and assisted by Archbishop Belmont from the House of Belmont. All right, we already taking care of our people, breaking it down for you. Agnatic successions for heirs. All right, we got it all covered. Show you a little bit before I continue on. Dedication. What else? Dates, calendars. All right, I got the calendars up here explaining everything. Going all the way back to the 25th dynasties of the Nubian rulers. I break all that down. All the calendars, I'm breaking it down. I'm also breaking down the king's list. All right, breaking down the territory when we were invaded. All that is being explained for the members. Already preserved for you. Time when it happened. I'm breaking it all down for you. All right, we're about to get back to the lesson. I just want to show you this. All right, Kushite. All ahead, the 25th dynasty of Egypt. This was already done ahead of time. Okay? Who has preserved your history like I have? Okay? Breaking it all down. I ain't started teaching about it until later. I just started teaching about this, but already preserved and written down for when you come into the temple. Okay? So it's not for naught. What else? from alpha to grade. All right, bringing it all down. All your answers is right there for you. So when you're at home studying, you got the best of both worlds. Okay, we already know that his wife was Asiatic, part of not Asiatic, of darker complexion. So what else more do you need? All right. So enough about that. Let's continue back on with the lesson. All right. So in closing, all right. So in closing, the kingdom of England, and concerning the kingdom of England, and concerning the heirs of the kingdom of England, and concerning the territorial extent of their estate concerning the heirs, we must understand the timeline. Okay, we must understand the timeline. The kingdom of England, wherever the government is sitting, known as the intended court, a moving court, it still governs the territories that were under the authority of the crown, i.e., the king. Okay, called English overseas possessions. All right, we must understand that to for you to even feel that like you're home, like you're at home. Okay, so before the government seat of our ancestors moved to what they call United Kingdom, Great Britain. All right, before it moved over there. All right, because it said location of the kingdom of England. Okay, in 1558 to 1707. Location. And when it said location, it's not including in any English overseas possessions. It didn't say that. It said the location of the kingdom of England. Okay, and they never called it England. They called it Great Britain. All right. Shortly after 1558. That was in 1603. All right. So the location of the Kingdom of England is based upon what you're seeing in this map. I didn't put this here. Okay. Is God in their right from the 5th century? Well, where was they right prior to the 15th century? Okay. Is what we all need to be asking ourselves. Where was the right that God gave you according to the land that you came to be or have an inheritance to? Okay. Where was the law governing that land? Okay. Where was the God who was there and the law that the God used to govern that land? Where is that God? Okay. Because they're telling you that they were the gods at that particular time and that location from 1558 to 1707, ruling that land. They were the gods there. Okay. But where were the gods, i.e., the English, Anglo-Saxon Berbers? Okay. The angels. Okay. Where were they at? Where were they at when they were ruling in their kingdom based upon their location as well as the overseas possessions that they govern? Okay. If that's the case, then you have to go to the English overseas possessions and as well as the location of the Kingdom of England where it was actually ruling from. Because it wasn't ruling over there in what they call Great Britain, because that didn't start till 1558. So the only logical conclusion that we can make based upon the location of the Kingdom of England, which we know was Wittenmont, okay, which was the government of the Berbers, was here in what we call North America, okay? North America, as you can see, lit up in red. And we know the location in North America, and which was the government by the English people, was that of the Berbers, because the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica says that the government of Britain was the government of the Berbers. So that means from Alfred the Great all the way up uh, through the kings of Wessex, ending with Edward the Confessor, carry on to Harold Galveston up to William the Conqueror, who still upheld the ways of the kings of Wessex when they were unified by by what we call the hierarchy. That same or the same laws were preserved by the French rulers of the Kingdom of England, known as the Plantagenet King, Godfrey the Fifth Count of Anjou, son of Folk, ruler of Jerusalem. Okay, and it applied to all the territorial extents to where the law governed. Okay, even in what we call at the time of an interregnum. Okay, we must understand that. And so when you look up English overseas possessions, and the origin going back to those possessions, they started out in 927. And 927 goes back to Asterton, and Asterton was the great grandson of Alfred the Great. His wife was Elizabeth, which were clearly a Nubian or black or Kushite or whatever term you choose to identify with them. Their nationality was Berbers. Okay, they were in fact Berbers. All right. In order for us to understand that, we must make that connection to this land. Okay, to the land. And with that, let's clear this up. Let's see. Let me see. I covered everything. Okay, I just want to touch on one more thing before I close out. United States versus one King Mark. Brother Sarwar Seti. Once again, if you are American national and your genealogy is in Africa, then you're in a world of trouble, brother. Okay? You're in a world of trouble. All right? Because if your genealogy is rooted in those Nubian or Sudanic tribes known as the ancient Kushites, and there's an area known in Sudan called Berber Sudan, and we know Sudan is a territorial area where the people live called Berbers. Okay? And if the Berbers were there, that means the government of the English must have been there as well. That's why it's so well recognized, not just here in North America, not just as in what we call Great Britain, but it should be recognized over there in North Africa as well. All right, it should be recognized, and it will be recognized by the time I'm through with it. Okay, so it's very, very, very important you understand and connect English common law worldwide. Okay, with the original English people, and that will be the Anglo-Saxon Berbers, to determine your status as a national, because you're not an American national, Brother Sarmasun said. None of y'all are American nationals. You are English nationals because citizenship based upon nationality is only determined here in what you call North America under English common law. Okay? The citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, which gave you a civil a status, all right? And prior to your emancipation of the 13th Amendment, you wouldn't have that civil status. And that civil status is totally different from a political status, which deals with your national standing, which clearly cannot be American, okay? Because Americans' national standard is based upon English common law, okay? English common law, all right? And I'll narrate the case before I close out. United States versus Juan Kimmel Art. Right here. Children born in England of such aliens were therefore natural born subjects. No, that's not what I want to read. Yeah, right here. 2. The fundamental principles of the common law with regard to English nationality was birthed with the allegiance, also called legality, obedience, faith, or power of the king. The principle embraced all persons born within the king's allegiance and subject to his protection. Children born in England of such aliens were therefore natural born subjects. Whether children born within the rim of foreign ambassadors or the children of alien enemies born within their hostile occupation, a part of the king's dominion were not natural born subjects because not born within the allegiance, the obedience, or the power, or as would be said at this day within the jurisdiction of the king. All right? So it's right there before you. The law is clear. All right? The law is clear, Brother Sarasun Seti. understand that we are in fact the English people that you're uh, are associating with white people, okay, or Europeans. All right, those are not proper terms to identify a person with any country in reference to a nationality. I guess that's why you use the word American national, okay? Because American national is governed under Title 8 of the United States Code. And there's only two type of nationals: naturalized citizen, all right, which is one whose permanent allegiance is to the United States, or a foreign national who has permanent residency here in what they call the United States. So if you claim to be either, then you are not claiming the descent of your ancestors in reference to the true understanding of genealogies. And I'm not just talking about on the physical level, but on the genetic level, i.e., engrams. And with that, I say peace. I open the floor for questions for any of those who don't understand what was said to them today. All right, so the floor is open for questions. Any questions? Let me know. So if there's no questions, then I just want each and every one of you to understand that I know I'm repetitive with this information, but it's necessary. Um, Once again, you need to question your status as a citizen or a subject. Whatever you identify with, you really need to question that right now, because it's going to be at your front door. All right. And if I mean, I really can't express how dangerous of the time this is for people in general. Okay, in general. Okay, so this movement might not look like much, but believe me, it's going to measure up to what needs to be done. Okay, it's gonna do the job. So with that, I'm not going to hold you anymore. Thank you all for tuning in today. I don't know when my next lecture is going to be done. I got hopefully the hearing for the civil cases coming up next week. The defendants have up till to Monday to respond to the opposition, all right, with a reply. Failure to do that is waive of that reply for motion hearing practice in such in that case. Okay, so they have till I'm gonna give them till Monday because the hearing's supposed to be on Friday. All right. And the criminal case, once again, is December 9th. So I keep you all up to date with that. Once again, thank you all for being here. I love you all, and I'll try my best to come come out with a victory for us all in due time. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna greet you as I always greet you.